Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm Rob. You're watching
Lists of 13.
Here you'll find lists of various topics, all in sets of 13.
If you have tristodectophobia, an irrational fear of the number 13, this video may not be for you. Otherwise, enjoy the list.
So today we are talking about something that I am not all that familiar with as somebody who was from New York before I moved here. But I'm going to start with story time from just a little bit after I moved to the city that I live in now the first time. Long story. So making the long story shorter, my family lived in a house that didn't have a basement, but there were some really bad storms happening, and then the tornado sirens went off. So we know it's getting pretty serious, and the next door neighbor told us that we should feel free to use her basement anytime there are tornado sirens. So I'm going outside and I see something that really takes me by surprise, and that's the fact that the sky is this really weird green color. At the time, my oldest son's favorite color was green, and he looked up at the sky and he goes, "Dad, the sky is my favorite color." And it was just, he thought it was the coolest thing ever. Of course, I was scared out of my mind, but then there was a house that was like 5 or 6 houses up from ours, and it got destroyed in a tornado. So I feel like I kind of had a right to be scared.
Did you make it to your neighbor's house? You kind of forgot that part of the story.
Yes, we did make it to my neighbor's basement. Our house was fine, but the house that was just up the street, destroyed.
Selective tornadoing.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that, but it's just a point to say that tornadoes are no joke.
Right, they're very unpredictable.
On that note, today we bring you the 13 deadliest tornadoes in U.S. history. For each number, we are going to say the date of the tornado, the city and or area, and the number of fatalities.
Number 13, March 23rd, 1913, in Omaha, Nebraska, 103 people perished in a tornado.
And that's just our first. It's crazy to think that the numbers are going to get higher than that.
Right.
Number 12, May 18th, 1902, Goliad, Texas. 114 people died, and this is one of two with that number, so it's a tie.
Number 11, May 11th, 1953, in Waco, Texas. We have the tie at 114.
We've got a friend who lives near Waco, so that's scary.
Right.
Number 10, June 8th, 1953, Flint, Michigan, 115 people. And honestly, that surprises me a little bit. I didn't know that was really a tornado area, if you will.
I mean, I really don't think it is, which just means it's all the more crappy considering that Flint has its own list of problems, not counting tornadoes.
Right, I mean, nowadays they've got all kinds of stuff like the water issue and whatever.
Number 9, June 12th, 1899, New Richmond, Wisconsin, 117 people. That's another place that is not generally very common for tornadoes, but they do in fact still happen.
Right. Number 8, May 22nd, 2011, Joplin, Missouri, with 122 people.
I remember this tornado.
As do I.
That Joplin tornado was a monster, and if you went to Joplin, even still today, you can still see damage from places like the trees that haven't yet to recover from 2011.
Right, and the crazy thing though about this is the only tornado on this list that's from this century.
Number 7, April 24th, 1908, Amite, Louisiana, and Purvis, Mississippi, with 143 people.
Shows that the tornadoes don't really care about state boundaries and stuff like that.
Right.
Number 6, April 6th, 1947, Woodward, Oklahoma, had 181 deaths.
That's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Number 5, April 6, 1936, in Gainesville, Georgia, 203 people. Apparently that's a popular date since the 5th and the 6th most deadly tornadoes were on April 6th.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It is pretty crazy. Number 4, April 5th, 1936, Tupelo, Mississippi, with 216 deaths.
Well, and that was the day before the Gainesville, Georgia, so
Pretty crazy.
apparently a bad spot of weather there.
Right.
Number 3, May 27th, 1896, in St. Louis, Missouri, with 255 people.
It's quite a lot. Number 2, May 6th, 1840, in Natchez, Mississippi, there were 317 deaths.
And number 1, March 18th, 1925. This tri-state tornado in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana had a death toll of 689 people.
That is quite a lot of people, really, and that would have had to be a very expansive area that tornado covered.
If I remember correctly, it was a number of tornadoes that went through the tri-state area, not a single tornado.
Understand, but at the same time, that's just a lot of tornadoes in a very expansive area for it to be all considered the same thing.
Right. Either way, very important to take tornado warnings seriously, instead of more than one occasion I can remember as a child where my father was hanging out the front door to see if he could find the tornado.
And like I said, never had that because I can remember one tornado when I was in New York, and yeah, there wasn't actually any tornado sirens or anything because we don't have them there. But
Really? You don't have tornado sirens in New York?
I'm pretty sure there's not.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can remember being in a basement, in a bathtub, and a wherever since I was a kid. Growing up in Iowa and then living in Missouri and in South Dakota, all of those places definitely experienced tornadoes.
Yeah, it's definitely a new thing living here, figuring out about tornadoes. And we hope you haven't had the experience of going through a tornado. And we also hope that you've enjoyed this list today, as depressing as it is in some ways.
If you do have any experiences with tornadoes, tell us in the comments. Thanks again for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up.
And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to get notified when we post new videos.
After subscribing, ring the bell.
After that, tell all your friends.
We hope you enjoy your day and keep being kind to one another.